Okay, so demand for gold bullion coins up 73%. Yes, that makes a lot of sense to me. And then silver bullion coins. Wait, down 73%?
That doesn't make sense.
What's up YouTube, Silver Dragons here, and in this video we're going to talk about the demand for physical silver and gold bullion. This article here talks about how the US Mint is seeing the strongest gold bullion demand in 23 years. So we will cover that, but also we're going to cover the demand for silver bullion because that is also extremely important and it might be vastly different than what you're imagining. So let's do it. Thank you so much for watching my video. I do sincerely appreciate it. If you want to learn more about investing in precious metals, or if you just want to watch awesome videos about gold and silver, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And before we get too far into this video, I want to mention SD Bullion is doing a giveaway. It's 500 ounces of silver. You're going to win a whole monster box of American Silver Eagles. So to enter, just click the first link down below in the description, enter in your email address, and you're good to go. And I believe if you've never bought from SD Bullion before, you will get an offer to buy some silver at spot. So definitely check that out. Again, first link down below in the description. Now let's get into this right here. So the demand for gold and silver bullion here in the USA. And I do not know what's going on in this picture right here. I don't think those are gold or silver coins, but okay, they randomly wanted to throw that in there. Now, I know this article is just talking about US Mint sales. It's not talking about secondary market sales. It's not talking about private party sales, sales from other mints. So this is just a small slice of the pie. It's just a little bit of information, but it will kind of give us an idea of the overall demand for gold and for silver right now. So this is something that you should be aware of if you're buying physical precious metals. You know, what's the demand like, and also what's the price doing? Because right now gold is sitting around 1930, which is pretty interesting. If the demand is at a 23-year high for gold, but gold is not at an all-time high, then what's going on there? Is the price being suppressed? Is there something else going on? I mean, we can look at the quantitative tightening that's going on. Is that having an effect on the price of gold? Is it just suppressed now and then potentially going to go higher later in the year? Honestly, in my opinion, I feel like we are seeing lots of demand for gold and we will see the price rise, but it's kind of lagging right now. So let's talk about this, and then let's also talk about silver, because I know a lot of us were buying silver as well, and you know, it's not being talked about as much. So the article starts off by saying rising inflation and safe haven demand resulted in extraordinary demand for physical gold in March, capping off the best start to the year in more than 2 decades. In its last sales data, the U.S. Mint reported that it sold 155,500 ounces of various denominations of its American Eagle gold bullion coins, up 73% from last month. The U.S. Mint saw its best March performance since 1999. So obviously, in March, there was a lot of panic going on. There was the whole Russia invading Ukraine, and people were buying up gold. I mean, this is a crazy increase, 73% increase from February to March. So keep note of that. March ended a solid quarter for bullion demand. The U.S. Mint sold 426,500 ounces of gold between January and March, up 3.5% from the first quarter of 2021. Similar to its monthly, says this was the Mint's best quarter in 23 years. According to analysts, 2 factors are driving demand for physical precious metals: inflation and Russia's war with Ukraine. Analysts are focusing a lot of attention on Europe's economy as the region faces rising consumer prices and the growing threat that Russia could weaponize its energy commodities as it faces growing sanctions against Western nations. So the thing to note here is, I mean, they're saying that the demand is because of inflation and because of Russia's war with Ukraine. And I think when it comes to inflation, We are seeing the Fed raise interest rates, and this is kind of driving the price of gold down, but it's really just a temporary thing because after quantitative tightening comes quantitative easing. And, if gold can basically hold its ground, and we know gold is not going to drop below 1850 because that's the price that Russia is buying gold at, I think that gold could pop much, much higher in the coming months, in the coming years. I think we're kind of just getting started with gold. But let's talk about silver. So if we scroll down, Ole Hansen, head of commodity strategy at Saxo Bank, said that inflation had become a real threat for consumers, so it's not surprising to see investors protect their wealth and purchasing power. He added that equity volatility is prompting some investors to diversify into physical assets. Physical as well as investment demand remains solid for the simple reason investors, retail and professional, see inflation everywhere. While in 2021 it was something we talked about, it has now become a reality, with everyone around the world feeling the impact of surging prices on everything. With that in mind, and given the wobbly start to 2022 for equities, I see a clear link to increased demand, he said in a comment to Kitco. Okay, so silver demand. Here we go. Silver demand, while seeing a solid start to the year, is down compared to last year's unprecedented start. The data from the U.S. Mint shows more than 7.5 million ounces of silver were sold in the first quarter of last year, down 37% from the first quarter of 2021. Looking at monthly sales, the U.S. Mint sold 1.08 million ounces, down 73% from last year. So the demand for silver appears to be down. It seems like people are not as interested in silver as they are in gold. However, this is not really the case. If we read on this part here, Richard Weaver, president of the Accredited Precious Metals Dealers and the Professional Numismatists Guild, said that silver demand could be a lot higher, but demand is being impacted by a lack of supply. And when we're talking about lack of supply, what they're really talking about is a lack of planchets to mint these silver coins with. It's not necessarily just an overall lack of silver, because we know there are massive silver reserves that exist. It's not like there's no silver at all. It's just these physical products, the blank planchets that the mint needs to make their coins with. That is the lack of supply. So bullion orders remain strong, even with the lack of silver materials available, he said. Demand should remain steady for the balance of 2022, but physical metals could be the wild card, as we're seeing higher premiums and longer delivery times. So here's the thing. When you have lots of demand and a low supply, then obviously you see premiums shoot up. And U.S. Mint products are seeing crazy premiums right now. So American Gold Eagles, American Silver Eagles, they're priced much higher than other silver and gold bullion coins. So that's something to note. It's like they just don't have the materials available to make these. So the demand is there, but if they can't make them, then, they can't sell them, obviously. Let's finish out the article. Bart Kittner, president of Kitco Metals Incorporated, also said that along with market volatility and safe haven demand, investors were being tactical buying gold and silver as it made a new all-time intraday high. The increase in sales is typical of how the demand for coins and small bars responds to high price volatility in the market, he said. Kittner added that it's not surprising to see solid demand for silver in an environment with surging geopolitical uncertainty. If the U.S. Mint could produce more, they would, he said. So basically, that's the bottom line. The U.S. Mint is producing as much silver as they can, apparently, and we're buying up all of it. Now, if I had to pick what to buy right now, I would probably not be buying U.S. Mint products because, as we talked about, the premiums are getting outrageous. So I would switch and buy something else. Buy generic bars, buy silver rounds. buy other gold coins. You know, there's a lot of options out there, and I've talked about this in tons of videos in the past. But stay away from the super high premium stuff. I feel like, you know, eventually the premiums can come down on these types of things. But until then, just switch tactics and buy other stuff. So anyway, we're going to end the video there. I do want to say a massive thank you so much for watching. And I will see you all in my next one. Silver Dragons out.